The heat in Gauteng right now is unbearable. Sorry if I'm really sweaty and gross. We've been having a heat wave for like 3 months. Also, it's December now, which is like basically the official start of summer, so we're in for a fun time. Back in October, I traveled to KwaZulu-Natal for my sister's wedding. I had every intention of giving you guys the full vlog experience, but yeah, that didn't quite work out. I apologize. So, instead of focusing on myself for this video, I'm going to focus on KwaZulu-Natal and particularly the South Coast, and hopefully at the end of it you'll have learned a thing or two about what life is like there. But before I tell you a little bit more about life in the South Coast, I want to recap the trip that I went on. I journeyed to Port Shepstone by bus. Leaving Johannesburg was exciting as always, but I didn't vlog as much as I hoped I would. I look very orange, but I am on a bus going to Port Shepstone. My chair is wonky and keeps sliding back. Bus has been a pit stop, I think, in Harrismith. I don't know. It usually stops at a different stop, but I can see the mountain that it usually stops close to, so I think it's Harrismith. I don't know. I am taking a smoke break in Durban. Also, my ears are blocked, and I just want everyone to know that the air here is solid. I wanted to create a cinematic masterpiece, but I soon remembered that between Johannesburg and Port Shepstone, there's a whole lot of nothing. And toll gates. Don't get me wrong, South Africa is an immensely beautiful place, but you kind of have to go off-road to experience the best of it. There are some really pretty sights from the N3, but mostly you'll just see traffic, a few settlements, and godforsaken toll gates. Seriously, I mean, come on. Even the big cities in between, namely Pietermaritzburg and Durban, don't really seem that different to Johannesburg. They have the same problems that all densely populated places will have, and it seems that the mindsets and behavior of the people who live there are largely the same. The journey was uneventful, but it was good, and about 7 hours later, I arrived in the South Coast. Fun fact, the South Coast is not the South Coast of South Africa, it's actually the South Coast of KwaZulu-Natal. The South Coast is undoubtedly one of the gems of South Africa, and it's vastly different to Johannesburg in culture, environment, lifestyle, mindset, and pretty much everything. The first thing you'll notice is how green and natural everything is. The population that lives there hasn't destroyed what was there first. They live among the nature, and they cooperate with it. Another thing you should know is that the South Coast has some of, if not the, most beautiful beaches in the country, and maybe even the world. But I can only tell you about the South Coast from the perspective of an outsider. If you really want to know more about it, what better way to learn than from one of its residents?
You see this street? This used to be nicely tarred, right?
It wasn't a dirt road before.
Yeah. Now, they spent like 10 million rand on a library, but they can't come and tar our road.
This used to be nicely tarred, but a flood, flood came and took our roads away.
Yo, that day it rained. Sure. I was on my way home on the bus.
From Johannesburg.
Yeah, we had to get out the bus and pick out trees from the road.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. You know that step there by the front door? The water was level with that step. We thought it was going to start coming in the house. And this ground had lifted off from the road.
Yeah,
the tar lifted off. Grant got so excited. He's like, there's a sinkhole! There's a sinkhole!
People died in that flood. Don't laugh. How dare you?
This is flooding outside of my door. It's flooding in the road. Check here. It's flooding all in the road, coming here into the...
Hey, it's fucking is gonna come in here.
I have to be careful not to drop my phone. But the road is actually...
Send me that picture, Polly.
Yeah, I will.
On the road, please, man. Take a couple of pictures.
stuff. Check here. Look at how the road has lifted off.
Not to mention that shortly after that, KwaZulu-Natal, particularly its coastline, was hit by a magnitude 4.6 earthquake. I think it was 4.6, might have been 4.8, I'm not too sure. And then it was visited by a tornado. But that, I think, was like inland KwaZulu-Natal, not the coastline. Maybe it's due to KwaZulu-Natal's tropical climate. Maybe it's due to the people there angering the gods. I don't know. All that aside, I had the good sense to actually chat to my sister about living in the South Coast, and here's what she had to say. Why did you move to KwaZulu-Natal?
We came here on holiday, I think it was actually about 5 years ago, and it wasn't the easiest time, but it was also his birthday, and we came here just to like convalesce and also celebrate his birthday at the ocean. Neither of us had been to the South Coast before, and when we found this spot, we were just like, oh, this would be such a wonderful place to live. And we just had the chance to move and go anywhere we wanted. So we came here and it's beautiful. It's always green. Always green. All these evergreen trees. It's like living in a tropical jungle by the ocean. The ocean's always beautiful. It's a quiet and relaxed life. You can see that like the foundation of nature surrounding you like seeps into people's lives, or it just attracts that kind of person where it's not like this rush all the time and things are very quiet. A lot of older people also live here as like for their retirement. This is a completely different life from the city, and it's just it's amazing.
Do you think you'll ever move back to Johannesburg?
I wouldn't. If I could help it, I would not. But there is one thing that I do miss about Johannesburg a lot, and it's just culture. You know, there's so much culture here. We don't, there won't be a ballet here, or a museum, or to be able to go to an art expo, or, just so many cultural things happen in the city. And it was something I could do all the time in Joburg. One weekend you're at Body Worlds, the next you're at the planetarium, the next you're going to the ballet, the next you're at some play at the theatre. There's so many things to do, and that doesn't exist here, and I miss that. I
never thought about that before.
I really miss it so much. It's the only thing that I really miss. So I actually would consider leaving this place to go to a coastal city like Durban or Cape Town to still have the culture, but the ocean.
Yeah. Would you like to say something? As for the rest of my stay there, it was pretty lazy, truth be told. The South Coast just seems to have that effect on me. Southport in particular is so small and so quiet that I find it difficult to see it as anything more than a holiday town. It's a place that I have visited fairly frequently in the last 3 years, but I just can't envision myself ever living there. For one, it's way too humid. For another, the bugs there are gigantic, which doesn't really bother me, but there are moths the size of my head all over the frickin' place there. Like, hell no, I ain't moving there. It's also so underpopulated and out of the way that the luxuries of city life, like Uber, McDonald's, and fiber internet, haven't reached it yet. But anyway, after about 2 amazing but super lazy weeks, it was back to reality, and I had to head home. The journey back to Johannesburg was just as uneventful as the trip leaving it was. I haven't been vlogging all that much, and I deeply apologize for that. I've just been so lazy. Anyway, I am once again in Harrismith, almost home, maybe about another 3 or so hours and I'll be home. Returning to Johannesburg highlighted how far from nature the city has strayed. Arriving here in the evening in peak traffic in the middle of a drought when everyone was hot, exhausted, and seemingly miserable wasn't particularly fun. It emphasized why places like the South Coast are important. They remind us that life is something you should enjoy, that rest is important, and that rushing all the time is unhealthy. It's Saturday the 25th or the 26th or something of October. I don't know. Anyway, I'm home after a really long, really tiring trip. And yeah, I have to film vlog. Well, I don't have to film the vlog, I have to edit the vlog, and I don't actually know what the point of the vlog was. And yeah, perhaps this vlog really didn't have a point. Initially, it was just meant to showcase the South Coast and my adventure there, and nothing more. But I do find it fascinating that my sister and I, who were raised in the same environment by the same people, grew to have such different ideas of what comfort is. She prefers the sleepiness of Southport, and I prefer the activity of Alberton. I also guess that this video kind of evolved into a testament of how we should make an effort to preserve what is beautiful in this world. Southport might not be my home, but 10 out of 10 would recommend, except for the giant moths the size of my head. Those really, really need to die. I just want to point out that this video is actually part of Vlogmas, but I am spreading the content over all of my different channels. I explained more in a video that I will link in the cards. I'm not sure what side they will appear on, and in the description down below. So if you are interested in knowing more, be sure to check out that video. And speaking of which, I have also uploaded a song called Sunshine. It's not really about beaches or like literal sunshine, but since I placed a lot of emphasis on a coastal town, I think it's fitting. So do check it out and let me know what you think. So have you been on any fun adventures recently? Let me know in the comments. That's all from me, and I will see you sometime soon. Bye!
Like, I could go to Antarctica, I could go to very northern Europe or like Alaska, those places, and I could feel like this is awesome, but you would not enjoy.
When it's fucking cloudy for 2 days, oh, so miserable.